Here is the AFC North. The fourth place team we have here is the Cleveland Browns with a record of 7-10.
The Browns.
It's funny that you said it like that. I have it in my notes like that.
The Browns.
The Browns. What did we have them at? Did you guys have them at 7
4
wins?
Yeah, I have them 7-10.
I got them at 5-12.
I have them at 8-9.
Yeah, right. With
Casey,
what quarterback?
you're fucking nuts. The Browns 5-12. Hard schedule. No quarterback. They have a tough ass schedule. You start in Carolina. Baker Mayfield is going to shit all over them. I gave them the win against New York the week after.
Which
then
New
you
York?
got Pittsburgh, the Jets. They play the Jets.
Does it matter?
True.
It's New York.
I have this schedule based on no Deshaun Watson for the first 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 6 weeks or whatever his suspension is at right now.
It's at 6 for sure.
It doesn't
for
matter
right now,
even
but
if it's up to 8 because they got Pittsburgh, they got Atlanta, no Deshaun Watson. They could lose that. It's in Atlanta. They got the Chargers, they got the Patriots, they got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills. And then I have Deshaun Watson back and they pick up their wins late in the season against Tampa Bay, Houston, Washington, and then they split with Pittsburgh. That's 5 games out of their season. That's all I see them winning.
You only see them winning 5?
5 games, 5-12. If you don't have a quarterback for the first 6 games of the season, then you play Baltimore and Cincy.
Hey, they have Jacoby Brissett, and he's not a terrible quarterback.
I mean, you had him.
But the Browns are trash without. You need that piece there for the Browns. They can't. It's the Browns.
I know we have the whole Deshaun Watson debacle, and Jaguar fans, I usually never agree with you guys, but the chants you guys were chanting to Watson at the game a couple days ago were comical. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing. I loved it. Watson, after taking a year off from football, he is throwing interceptions at training camp, and he went 1 of 5 passing for 7 yards against the Jaguars the other day. He will miss at least 6 games with more possibly pending. The Browns also have another problem with Kareem Hunt wanting a trade. If Hunt plays this year, it's best 1-2 punches in the backfield with Chubb. They still have Myles Garrett on defense as well, and when he isn't swinging helmets at people, he does great things for the Browns. I think the Browns get off to a slow start this year, but they are a decent football team on paper. They're kind of like the Vikings. They're decent on paper, but they got to play the games. I have them going 8-9, but depending on how things shake out with Watson, they could win more. They may even win more with the current setup they have right now. So who knows?
You are nuts.
Yeah, but that's where I have them.
You think they go over 500 if they have Deshaun Watson?
That's not over 500.
No, but
you're
you're saying
they can win more.
suspension. If Deshaun Watson's there for the beginning of the season, I could give them a couple more wins, but not a lot. I'd give them Atlanta.
I have them,
maybe Carolina.
I have them 8-9. That's where I have them. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it's crazy at all. Tony, this is your division. You're not saying anything. What do you have on the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said before, it's still the Cleveland Browns. They're gonna find a way to fuck it up. On paper, they always look pretty nice. I mean, they had their stars receiving lineup when Manziel was there. They found a way to fuck that up. So I mean, what's gonna them having that impressive of a lineup back then compared to now that they just got a good pickup at the quarterback spot, nothing's gonna change. They're still gonna end up having a terrible season.
Games against the Browns and the Steelers should be good to watch though this year.
I do have them splitting.
I mean, as long
as the Steelers.
As long as they don't get Mason Rudolph out there, we're gonna be perfect.
Like I said, as long as Myles Garrett's not swinging helmets around, he's good. But we'll move on to the next team in our rankings here. The number 3 team, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tony's favorite team. We have a consensus ranking of 9 and 8, and I think that's nuts.
So positive.
Yeah, I think that's nuts.
I think that's Tony's
nuts?
doing though.
I have a lot to say about Pittsburgh.
Steven
but I'll
might
let
have
Tony
also
go
had them
first.
in
They're
mind.
your team, Tony, so you go ahead.
I don't see them going anywhere below 500. That's for sure. They do have a lot of proving to do. They always have consistency. Even when they're struggling on the offensive side, defensive side, they find a way to pull through. Just because they have that veteran mentality, they're there to win. Tomlinson has been able to coach them throughout the seasons. Like we talked about before, he's never gone under 500.
Correct.
In the past 18 years. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to keep that up this year. It was nice to see that now we have a quarterback that could run. Honestly, in that whole situation, I see Mason Rudolph being the worst one, especially after seeing him trying to play yesterday. He was trying to fit passes through small openings that are going to get him picked off throughout the year. So as long as we could keep
Pickett
him on
did
the
really
field,
well
we're gonna be
yesterday.
fine. He did, and Pickett he went 13 for 15, 2 touchdown passes with 95 yards in an insanely amount of of minimal time that he got to play. So he looks like
he might be
good.
He might be a quarterback number 1 next year.
I'm telling you, they just got Trubisky in there to kind of coach him through, get him comfortable with the field. But then he's gonna end up taking over. So I think it's gonna be a Maddox Roethlisberger situation going on again.
You think he's going to take over midseason?
I don't know about midseason.
I think he'll take
be
over
ready for
midseason.
it, but it would be ideal. But I think he's gonna get the back end of it, if anything. But Trubisky did really well as well, right off the bat, first quarter, first couple minutes. I think it was like 4 minutes in, he threw in a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to see them be able to be mobile, man.
Something Tony hasn't seen in years.
It's been a minute, so it's just nice to see them be able to run the ball and get out of the pocket and be comfortable and be able to sling it in there. Obviously, we don't have the cannon that Roethlisberger had, but they're gonna be fine.
But as we said last week, Steelers haven't had a losing season since 2003, and as Tony said right now, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. It was 18 years, you said?
Yep.
He's been there for 18. He's been there that long. That's crazy.
That's since 2003. 4?
3.
No, 18 years is 2004.
Yeah,
well,
but they haven't had a losing season since 2003.
I know this. Yeah.
But
so, like,
they signed Trubisky in the offseason, as Tony said, and then immediately decided to get Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh in the first round of the draft. I don't think the Steelers know what they want to do at quarterback right now. The Steelers' offensive line was pretty bad last season, and I really felt bad for Najee Harris because he deserves better. Juju left to go make TikToks with Jackson Mahomes in Kansas City, and I think they're better off without him. I do think that the Steelers are going to be in some kind of rebuild this season, and I can't see them in the playoffs.
You have their record.
They have I'll tell you at the end here. They have the 4th toughest schedule to play this season, and I think they're going to struggle. A lot of question marks on offense, and they are in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. Their defense may keep them in games because y'all's defense is elite. Like, it's really good. You guys got Mr. TJ Watt out there, and it's really, really good.
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
But the offense is going to have to score, and that's where I see them struggle. I have them at 7-10. And they have their first losing season since 2003. That's where I have the Steelers. I actually have them. I think I have them 4th. No, I don't. I have the Browns. No, I have the Steelers
Browns
at 7-10.
Yeah, because you had the Steelers at 7-10.
I have the Steelers at 7-10. I have the Browns at 8-9.
That's crazy. I think the Steelers are going to do better than people think. I don't think they have a winning record. I have them in between there. I have them at 8-9, just losing record. But they could surprise a lot of people this season. I mean, you have weapons there. Mitchell Trubisky is not that bad of a quarterback. I mean, he's not a QB1, but he's borderline,
he's like Jacoby Brissett.
You put him into a really high caliber offense and he can perform like if he's got weapons. And he's got Najee Harris back there. I mean, the offensive line might struggle a little bit, but
I also have a hot take about the number 1 receiver this year. Pickens is damn good of a pickup. I think
he's going to be the number 1 receiver in the league.
Not Pickens.
I think
Pickens, yes,
as
from
a rookie,
Georgia, right?
So you think he'll be the top rookie in the league?
Yeah, I think he has a shot at the top receiver.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I will say that guy is a player. Like that guy can catch the ball. He can move. He's a big guy too. Came from Georgia. He's the reason why Michigan got shit on in the semifinal game.
Georgia's
one of the
breeding
reasons.
system, they're breeding different level of humans. It's crazy,
especially that defense.
Yeah. Like their whole defense
insane.
Went in the first, second round of the draft.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That corned beef that they're feeding them down there.
Yeah, the corned beef. All right.
I mean, Athens is something else. The Bulldogs are something else, man.
It's those Georgia Peaches.
The SEC.
It's I don't know. That whole program is just insane. I live about an hour away, and Bulldog Nation there is no joke.
But we'll go to the next team in our rankings. We're going to team number 2, which is the Baltimore Ravens, which we have them at a consensus ranking of 11-6. Tony, I'll go back to you for Baltimore. I mean, this is kind of your division here. So what do you think Baltimore's going to do? Actually, sorry, I'm going to move you to the 4-cam scene here. Here we go.
I mean, I think this whole division, like I said, once they play each other, it's always going to be a good game. They're always, the rivalries themselves are always some of the toughest games. It doesn't matter in what division you're in. They always come for, when you're playing someone in your division, it's always going to be a good game. Everybody's coming for blood. A lot. With that being said, I think the Bengals have been able to clean up their defenses, because every time the Steelers would play the Bengals in the past years, someone would get ejected from the game. That's honestly how Antonio Brown probably lost his marbles, man, because of that one hit.
I think Antonio Brown lost his marbles for some other reasons, but we won't get into that.
I mean, but ever since then, it was a steady decline. But it's always a dogfight when any of these teams are playing. Obviously, the Steelers have a lot of proving to do to match up to the Ravens and especially the Bengals. But overall, I think we'll be able to steal one from them.
Yeah, I think you guys will steal a couple games too. When it comes down to the Ravens,
Yeah.
the entire team was basically on IR last year. Preseason was daunting for Ravens fans last year, as your highly anticipated running backfield were all lost for the season. I even had a buddy draft J.K. Dobbins in the second round of a draft last year, and then the news of his ACL tear came out about an hour later. So that is why you guys don't do your fantasy drafts until after the preseason. Lamar Jackson got hurt near the end of the season. It was just a mess for Baltimore injury-wise last year.
They still finished with a good record, no?
They were, I don't remember what their record was at the end of the year. But in the offseason, the Ravens had an amazing draft. They loaded up this offseason, but they did lose a Hollywood Brown. They do have a tight end one in Mark Andrews. And I think the division will cannibalize each other this year. But in the end, I think the Ravens are one of the teams that come out with a playoff spot. And don't be surprised if they end up as a high seed. This Ravens team will be dangerous, barring any injuries. I really like the Ravens this year. I have them going 11-6. I think that's what we have them in our consensus. If that's not what I'm mistaken here.
I think so.
Yep, it sure is. 11-6. Steven, you got anything on the Ravens? You have them going 12-5.
I'm looking at their...
And so do you, Daniel.
They finished 8-9 last year.
Yeah.
They were 8-9.
Yeah.
Well, mainly
but they
because of
finished the
injuries.
season with 6 losses in a row. So injuries, to catch up.
Yeah, they caught up to him for sure.
Having their running game back, I mean, that's going to help out so much. As long as they stay healthy, I mean, they'll be fine. They'll be competing with the Bengals this year.
Yeah, I have them 12-5 too. And Tony, I have your Steelers beating them in Pittsburgh though. Week 14.
In Pittsburgh. All right, let's move on to the number one team. Number one team, which it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, is
no surprise here.
The Cincinnati Bengals, and we have a consensus ranking of 12-5.
I go first.
Daniel, go first.
The Bengals, obviously, okay. All of this stuff I say, barring no injuries. Injuries can kill your season, but I have the Bengals at 13-4. I have them starting out pretty hot at 4-0. Their first loss of the season, I have them losing in Baltimore, but their schedule is not super difficult. They're kind of like middle of the road schedule. I got 4-0, then they drop one to Baltimore. You got New Orleans and Atlanta after that. This is going to be weird to say, but I have Cleveland beating them week 8. Deshaun Watson being back, it's in Cleveland. I gave them one of those losses. I think that'll be one of those games.
They do have a pretty tough schedule,
I can see it
though.
happen.
They have Tampa Bay,
they got
Buffalo, Kansas City, who will be looking for revenge. Dallas, the Saints. I mean, that's a tough schedule.
I got them at 13-4. Their 4 losses being Baltimore, the Browns game, Tennessee, and then Buffalo at home. I think Buffalo takes them out. 13-4 though.
Yeah, the Bengals, of course, are the reigning AFC champions. Nobody had them in the Super Bowl last year, but they shocked the world. To me, I was amazed that when they played Tennessee in the playoffs and the Bengals allowed 9 sacks and still won that game. You guys remember that? That was crazy.
They got an offensive line now.
It blew my mind. And now they have an offensive line. So the offensive line gets better this year with the addition of players like Lyle Collins from Dallas, Alex Kappa from Tampa Bay. They also got Daxton Hill from Michigan on defense. And I think he can make an immediate impact there in Cincinnati. It's a rocky schedule, I think. But since they improved, I think they finish 11-6 and they win their division again.